cluttered, and it's as good as it's gonna look because the cat's here.
Yeah.
And I don't have the heart to Hoover.
Nope. Here's our church.
Yep. She's just.
Did we change that?
Change what?
The little plaque up here.
Oh, did I write Pet Cemetery on it?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's not Candyman anymore.
All right.
That's for sure.
All right. Good.
It's
so late. I don't even know what the hell I'm maybe talking about.
I should have just written the soil of a man's heart is stonier.
Oh, God, if I have to hear that fucking quote ever again, oh, I will be a happy boy.
It's stonier, Lewis.
Oh, I don't give a shit.
the other one you're probably tired of is me constantly being like, what you buy you own, and what you own comes back to you.
or you just talking about it's a loon. We got it. It's not a loon. Anyways.
If you see anything, it's St. Elmo's fire.
Sure. I'm Mike.
I'm John.
And this is
Generation Wars.
Yes, this is our second?
This is episode 3.
Isn't it our
If
third?
we count the live show, which was on Space Jam.
Oh yes, that's right. That pile. Not our episode.
I'm not sure. I might want to change my vote on it because I don't know.
Now, what did you say? You said the LeBron James one, correct? Yeah. See, I told you I like the Michael Jordan one.
Because I saw some other stuff from it, and I'm like, I don't.
What?
Oh, I don't know. It's a lazier movie.
Yeah.
A much lazier movie.
Anyway.
Let's say I'm officially gonna change that. And now the original Space Jam wins that Generation War.
All right.
There you go.
All right. I didn't have to do any, convincing. I didn't have to pay under the table.
Nope. Just
I'm glad you came around. Yeah. About time.
I think I'm gonna officially change it to that.
All right.
First off, because I don't like ties. I don't believe things should be allowed to end in ties.
We tried to have Cena with a tie. He didn't give his opinion on the tie.
Well, he didn't watch the new one, so why would he? You're just mad because he wasn't just like, I've only seen the first one, so the first one.
Exactly.
We should have flipped a coin.
We should have.
From now on, that's what we'll do.
Okay.
Because I have all of my weird coins and we can just flip a
coin.
Sure.
Heads or tails or whatever the hell the fucking coin is, or...
Obverse and reverse, yeah.
Anyways, this is Generation Wars of Pet Cemetery.
Yep, we should probably explain what this show is since it is not normal B-Views.
Yeah.
Generation Wars is where we take two different movies that have both been made and we put them against each other.
Yes. So we have the original.
Yes.
Pet Cemetery.
Pet Cemetery. We're also going to talk about the book because I'm going to say that applies to this because...
Yes.
It does.
It's a Stephen King book.
Yeah.
Written in 1979.
And if we aren't going to talk about the book, I'm not really... It makes it difficult to...
We don't have to focus on the book.
No, we're not going to focus on the book.
Right.
My point is, we need to at least be able to compare these to the book since they are book films. Well, I'm not going to say that for all of the movies that we watch, but for these ones, they're important.
Sure.
So, I just know that people will freak out.
Yeah.
People get pissy about shit, and people are going to tell us that we're super biased on this episode, but I swear to God we're not. And I'm going to try and give really good reasons for why.
I'm not going to try. I'm going to try. I shouldn't say that.
Try to explain your position at least.
I will, and I will very much so. But
we don't actually say. We don't come down to our vote until the end of the video. So,
but with my opinion, you'll know mine. I'm sorry. One of these I absolutely hate. With a capital H, capital A, capital T, capital E, with an exclamation point.
One of these movies we were watching for the first time, and
in April of 2019, I traveled 330 miles to see this film, And that is 6 hours, and it's a time difference.
Anyway. Let's start with the original.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah. Or, well, let's start with the overall story a little bit.
Okay.
Because, we'll... Basically, this is a story that was written by Stephen King.
Right.
In the book Pet Sematary.
Yep.
Which is spelled wrong.
Yes.
Because that's how children spelled it. When he bought a house that had the Pet Cemetery behind it, in real life, that was on a busy road, that used up animals, and he lived across the street from an old man who told him stories about it and stuff.
Yep.
And...
It's an old man.
Yep. And his daughter's cat ran out into the road, and they buried her in the pet. They buried the cat in the pet cemetery. The cat's name was Smucky, and on the tombstone they wrote, "Smucky, he was obedient." Which is funny because he's a cat. This is all real stuff, or at least according to Stephen King, real. Like this is the story he included. Because he moved there to work in the literary department, I think, at the University of Maine in Bangor, I think, is what he said. I could be wrong about that part. Then his son almost ran out into the road while a truck was coming, and he saved his son from running out in the road, and then this book came to him. And then he wrote this book, and threw it into a desk and said, "It is too dark and I cannot release this to the public because nobody will want to read it." And then later on, he ended up releasing it because he owed, he was switching publishing companies, and he was just like, well, he owed them one more book for his contract, so he's like, well, I have this one book, and you guys won't like it, though, and he gave it to them, and they're like, we fucking love this, and they published it, and immediately put Stephen King's scariest book all over it, and this is probably my favorite Stephen King book. So, now that I'm biased...
Yeah. It's up there for me.
The story is basically what I just said, which is...
That's what the story is.
A man named Louis Creed and his family, his son, Gage Creed, who's like 2, I want to say. I think the actor who played him was 3.
Oh, that's right.
I think he's supposed to be 2.
Okay.
Or just turning 2.
Okay.
Because, like, at the beginning of the book, he can't speak. He hasn't spoken his first words yet.
Okay.
And then, by the end, he's, like, kind of talking.
Okay.
Like, baby speak talking.
Okay.
The book takes place over a time, you know, like, a pretty decent time period.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about Pet Sematary 2019 for a second.
You were giving a synopsis. You were talking about...
Yeah, I know.
Gage's to you?
Gage, Ellie, who's like 7 or 8, I think, and Rachel, who's his wife. I don't know how old she is. I don't really know how old Louis is either. But Louis is a doctor.
Yep.
Rachel's parents hate him because he's just a worthless doctor or something.
I mean, he's a fucking doctor. I mean,
a lot of it seemed more like they didn't like him in the book. None of this is in the movie. A lot of it seemed like they didn't like him because she was supporting him while he was going through medical school.
Okay.
So, like, he wasn't really bringing money into the house. He was kind of a deadbeat.
Okay. He was going to school.
Yeah.
Going to med school.
Yeah.
I mean...
I never said they were reasonable. I just said that's a reason.
Yeah. Okay.
And say it's a reasonable reason.
Yeah. Okay.
So, they moved to...
Now, is this all in the book, or are we talking about...
It's a little bit of
okay, all right.
Everything.
A
little bit of everything.
Are we going to talk about the whole book, or what?
Yeah. I'm gonna go through the book plot by plot. Didn't you know? That's what this is. No. I'm just giving a brief summary and then explaining a little bit of stuff that isn't explained in the book, in the movies. Okay. Because, like, we know that her parents hate him in that movie. We don't really know anything about anyone in this movie. No. But it's whatever.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. Then they all move to Ludlow into a house that has an old man named Judd Judd Crandall. Jesus Christ. I kept being like Cranston.
No, not Brian.
Judson Crandall.
Right.
Yeah. And, or Judd. And in the movies it's just Judd. In the book it's Judd and his wife Norma. And they befriend Lewis, except in this one. Then they find, Judd shows them that out back behind their house is a pet cemetery. That's where all the local kids bury their pets, because the road is really busy with lots of trucks and pets get hit by trucks all the time. Okay. Then Ellie's cat gets hit by a truck. Yeah, Winston Churchill.
Yeah.
And, well, now I don't know what the format we're doing. Let's...
I don't know where we're going here, but...
Oh, well, I was just trying to give a short plot summary, but now it's turned into, like...
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying.
We're going plot by plot through everything.
Yeah, with a book. Not even a movie.
Well, I was...
I know.
Because both of the movies have, well... Alright, let's start with this one. This one is like the book.
Please.
This is an adaptation of Stephen King's book, Pet Cemetery.
Stephen King was the writer of this movie? Because I know he had something to do with the movie.
He was in the movie. Yeah, screenplay by Stephen King. Based upon his novel.
He wrote the screenplay.
He wrote the screenplay. Mary Lambert directed the movie.
Right.
She was friends with Dee Dee Ramone, and he made a song for the movie.
Yeah. I did not know that before today.
Yeah. I mean, I knew
I just thought Joey was a fan of Stephen King.
I think he might have been, but you know.
Yeah.
You know, Dee Dee Ramone was also friends with Mary Lambert because she apparently did music videos for him.
Okay.
Because she was a music video person, and I think the way we do this is we read the synopsis on the back. So I'm gonna start by doing that.
Okay.
Because this episode is already shit show because it's 3:30 in the
It's okay.
After moving to an idyllic home in the countryside, life seems perfect for the Creed family, but not for long. Lewis and Rachel Creed and their 2 young children settle into a house that sits next door to a pet cemetery built on an ancient Indian burial ground. That's not actually accurate. Their mysterious new neighbor, Judd Crandall, Fred Gwynn, hides the cemetery's darkest secret until a family tragedy brings the secret to life. Now an unthinkable evil is about to be resurrected. That's... Yeah.
That's exactly what happens throughout the movie.
Kind of. There's a little bit of... Wow, we can talk a little bit about that kind of stuff. Mike, this movie is pretty close to the book. Would you say?
Oh, yeah.
They exclude, because you've read the book.
Yes. Yeah, I was 12 years old when I first read it.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's actually one of the first, besides The Gunslinger, it's the first book I read that it's like, ooh, this is not very comfortable.
You thought The Gunslinger was uncomfortable?
No, I mean I said it was very the book was very uncomfortable.
Oh.
I mean, The Gunslinger, the first book sucks.
The Gunslinger is uncomfortable because it's uncomfortable to read.
It's a very hard book to get through.
That's why I listen to an audiobook.
Yes, you're lucky.
To get through.
You're lucky.
Because I read this in like my freshman year of high school.
Oh, okay.
Like I read it in 8th grade because I take a long time to read books. I read it through like the end of 8th grade, through the summer, and then through my freshman year.
Paperback or hardcover?
I actually have a 2nd edition copy of the of the book that I got through a Goodwill.
Oh,
like back in the day.
Oh, nice.
I got it for like 15 cents.
Oh, there you go. Paperback or hardcover though?
It's the first ever paperback edition of the book.
Oh, I'm sorry, but Stephen King books, whenever you got them in paperback, you had to get a fucking magnifying glass because they are the smallest fucking words that you could find.
Let me see. We're gonna talk to the camera.
Hi, everybody. So yeah, I mean, I think Stephen King, he's got some gems, but I think Pet Sematary is up there. And with the movie, I mean, I think it lives up to it in terms of that. It's a good movie, but this one, I mean, not so much, but...
So, this is my copy of Pet Sematary.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. And it's not...
Oh, that's not too bad.
No.
Oh, see, I had a different one.
See, and right there on the back, this is the original paperback, like the first one. I want to say this is 80-something. Man, this episode got off the rails fast, huh? 1984.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not that bad.
Cool. Yep. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's our book.
Yeah.
Yep. There's our book.
I got it for like 10 cents.
Nice.
Nah, we can lay it down. It's fine.
Anyways.
It's falling apart. She's old.
Yeah. Alright. Let's talk about the movie.
Alright.
Yep.
So, Fred Gwynn, Herman Munster, plays Judd, and he is the most dynamic actor in this movie, besides maybe Denise.
I don't know, what are you doing?
Just flattening. Miko Hughes is pretty good in it.
Yeah, he plays Gage.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's apparently a bigger actor now. Or something. I don't know.
He looks the same.
He does. It's really weird.
He looks the same. It's very odd.
Like, I saw a picture of him and I was like, oh shit, that's him. Yeah.
And he looks the frickin' same. It's like, holy shit.
Huh. Yeah. So, in this movie, it kind of just happens the way it does in the book, where, alright, they move to the place. I don't know, I don't remember if it's on the first day or not in either of these. Or maybe it is in this one. I think it's the first day. Yeah, because he says, oh, it won't, nothing worse than a sprain, he's saying to himself. Like, he says, I told her it would be nothing worse than a sprain, and Victor Pascal is just dead here on the fucking table.
Right.
Victor Pascal also dies in this movie. It's a connection to the book. It's one of the things the director of this movie in a special feature cited as one of the things that would have been difficult for them to justify putting in the movie if they hadn't seen it done in the original movie, which makes me think that certain people don't know how to make movies.
Yeah. Is that surprising to me? No.
Sorry.
No.
This is a cool movie.
Yep.
It's a fun movie.
Yep. So instead of doing plot to plot with that, let's just hit up the big parts.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
I'm getting lost.
Yeah. It is getting late, but we can basically see that the creepiness kind of starts in when Judd tells Lewis, look at your dead cat here.
I'd say the creepiness starts when they're just like, yo, check out your backyard, it's filled with dead animals.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I don't know if that's super creepy, but it's odd. It's out there.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's as creepy in this one. It's definitely creepy in this one.
Right.
Just because it's stupid.
Right. Yeah, the children walking up, that was kind of cool.
I would say it only becomes creepy once you think about the idea of, oh, people are going to be just like walking through our yard. And when the pet cemetery is actually on their property.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, we're just gonna be going and burying dead animals on your property.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm. It's very odd.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever.
Yeah.
It's odd. All right, but yeah, Judd's like, yo, your kids are gone for Donna, did you not like the Godzilla?
Anyways.
It's like, yeah, your kids are gone for Thanksgiving and your cat's dead over here.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh no, that cat. That's my daughter's cat. Mm-hmm. Man, we might this episode though.
Alright, let's focus.
Yeah, that cat's dead.
Yeah, the cat's dead. So what happens afterwards?
Oh, are we there yet?
Anyways, so Judd and Lewis take their long voyage up to the what the hell's the name of that?
Well, they in the pet cemetery there's a deadfall.
Okay.
Which is a bunch of dead trees that have kind of just naturally fallen on top of each other. Just stacks of branches and gross stuff, you know. And they keep saying, like, you're not meant to go beyond the barrier. Like, don't go beyond the barrier.
And that's what Victor Pascal just keeps saying.
Well, he says it, well, shit. I'm starting to get this and this and this all mixed together in my head. I want to say he only says it once. To Lewis.
Yes. Yes.
This one, I don't fucking know what's happening.
I think he says it when he's dying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He says the barrier is not meant to be broken, I think. And like there's this thing where I think he tries to climb it in this one, and someone tries to climb it in that one, I think, or they don't actually get to try. In the book, someone tries to climb it and like it breaks, and they're just like, no, you can't go over there because you'll get hurt on the deadfall. And it's because they don't say it, but like the spirits of the pet cemetery or the spirits of Little God Swamp, they won't actually let you go past the deadfall unless you're going there to bury,
right,
or try and bring something back. That's
Okay.
That's how that works.
Okay. And they climb up all this shit.
Yeah, you can't look down. Right. Don't look down, and keep your eyes.
Right.
Keep looking ahead.
Right.
And just walk, and then you'll get over the deadfall. Don't look down. Don't stop.
Okay.
And
now that happens in both of these movies. Right?
That happens in both of the movies and this one. Except in this one, like the first time Lewis goes over, he fucking beefs it.
He does.
Falls down the deadfall. Sure. Which I thought was just kind of added for some comedy. There are a few things that are just added for comedy in this. Like they have Victor Pascal following Rachel around. I keep wanting to say Ellie, but no, it's Rachel. Yeah, following Rachel around.
Yep. Yeah, so they go up to the native, or what they call Indian burial ground. Micmac.
They call it the Micmac burial ground.
Yes, Micmac
because it's from a Mi'kmaq tribe.
Okay. Yep. And so they bury Church.
And then Church comes back to life.
Yes. It's a gnarly...
Different ways in both of these.
Yes.
So, let's talk about the differences with this, because there are differences here. So, in the movie, Lewis is just like dicking around downstairs or whatever, in the basement, and like Church just starts hissing at him from a place and then runs off into the house, and he's just like, the fuck?
Yeah.
And in this one, Ellie, Ellie, Rachel, and Gage never leave in this one.
Right.
Because this movie doesn't give a fuck about the book at all.
No.
So they were just... Because this movie wants to be a haunted house movie instead of a Pet Sematary movie.
Yeah.
And that's probably why nobody gives a fuck in this movie.
Uh-huh.
Wow, this has turned hostile really fucking fast.
It's going to. Let's go back to that.
I'm trying to work it out, because what happens is they're all still there.
Mm-hmm.
So he tells Rachel that the cat's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And then after he buries it out in the pet cemetery, or out in the Little God Swamp cemetery, the Mesa, Micmac burial ground, which it's not called in this. Nobody actually explains anything in this movie.
Nothing.
If one of the things I outright said after we saw it in theaters was if I had not read the book and seen the other movie, both combined, I would have had no idea what the fuck was happening in this movie.
No,
because it's that
clue.
poorly written.
Yes.
Because they don't explain shit.
Nothing.
They are
nothing.
So many people I saw were like, "Oh man, it's more accurate because it has the Wendigo," and it's like, no, fuck you, you're wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so the cat comes back, and then she's like, "I thought you said the cat was dead," and he's like, "I guess I was wrong." And she's like, "Good thing you're not a fucking vet."
Yeah. Yeah. And then, there goes Scumbag Lewis lying to her, so, yeah.
I didn't think he was lying, because nobody fucking tells anyone anything in this movie.
Right.
Like, nobody has any idea what's happening with each other in this movie.
No.
Like, no information is passed
None.
between characters at any point.
None.
The closest thing to information being passed on is he doesn't even, outright say, "Yeah, by the way, Ellie's alive." He's just like, "Oh, things are okay now," and then Ellie comes up, and it's...
It makes no sense.
Nobody cares about each other or does anything. It's like if you took all the characters that you've learned to care about and things from this movie and this book, and you just took them and you made them shitty, and everyone hates them now. And Judd sucks, and Lewis sucks, and everyone sucks, and I hate them all.
Yeah.
And that's what this is.
Yeah.
Imagine a movie about shitty people that you hate, that bad things are happening to.
That you don't care about.
That you don't care about.
That you kind of wish that they're actually happening to them. That's like, oh, good.
It's just like, I don't care. Like, this sucks.
I hope you all die.
Also, Ellie sucks in this.
Anyways, so they...
And back to, what's the next plot point?
So, Gage's death with these two... Gage dies.
Gage dies in these two. Ellie dies in this one.
Yes, Ellie dies in this one. At her birthday party.
Yeah. What I don't like about it is, in the movie, they try and do it as, a fake-out thing. Because, Gage runs out into the middle of the road. Yeah. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, maybe both of them are going to die.
I would like that.
Everyone dies.
Everybody dies.
Yeah. Maybe both the kids...
Oh, wait! Anyways,
so they make it look like Gage is going to run out into the street, and he goes to, but then Lewis stops him. And then Rachel goes out to stop Ellie.
Yes.
And she doesn't make it.
Nope.
And Ellie gets hit by a fucking trailer.
Yes. He dies.
While she stares at the trailer while Church runs away, which Church runs away so quickly that we're all like, oh wait, she could just get away.
She's 9. She has the instincts to fight or flight.
I would assume so.
Yes.
Not just stare and
it's
die.
Instinct. Come on.
Instinct would be to run at least away.
At least tuck and roll.
At least Prometheus run away from it. But no, just stand there and stare wide-mouthed and wide-eyed at it and die. I've never been in that situation, so maybe I'm wrong. But it seems dumb.
Yeah.
It seemed pretty dumb when we were watching it.
Yeah. It's dumb because it's a piece of shit fucking movie.
15 minutes into this movie, Mike said this is the last time in my life I'm ever going to watch this movie.
And here I am watching this movie again.
No, like... I
mean, yeah, tonight.
No, the 15 minutes into seeing that movie in the theaters, you like leaned over to me in the movie theater and really loudly said, "I hate this movie."
Because you can just tell. You got a 15-minute test, dude. If it doesn't pass that 15-minute test, you know it's going to be an absolute pile.
Dude, if you hate everyone but after 15 minutes of a movie and you don't have any... Because, like, that's kind of what I tried to do this time, was I was like, alright, we're going to forget about Pet Sematary, we're going to forget about everything.
Yeah.
Like, I've watched this movie multiple times now.
Oh, this is probably, what, your second time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Our second time watching this, and it's not any better.
And Sav seemed to hate it pretty much.
Yeah, it's not a good movie.
When I said we would be watching that movie again, she was like, oh.
Yes.
I haven't met anyone who liked it, except, like, on Horror Flicks fans on Facebook. And I think that might be filled with bots. I'm not sure.
I don't know. They're haters.
Haters. They're haters of good things and lovers of shit things.
Yeah, garbage.
I don't understand.
Garbage. Anyways,
this movie is worse than Pet Sematary 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst movies ever made.
I don't know about that. I just don't.
For the potential it had.
It did have potential.
Because that had a limited budget.
They had a very limited budget.
This
probably had a limited budget.
This is who made that? Paramount?
I think Paramount made both of them. Yeah, this is Paramount.
Paramount Pictures.
Paramount's the one who owns the movie rights to the book, and they probably made that shit just so they wouldn't lose the rights to it.
Oh, I mean, this had a whole hell of a lot more potential.
They're just like, yeah, we have the rights to this, and they just released it, so first person to come to us with a script is getting money.
Yeah. Yeah, and you see what they did with it. I mean, come on.
It was good.
Very good. I'm not saying that anything bad about it. I mean, when you have the budget, you should be able to do better things about it.
Tomorrow we're filming it, aren't we? No.
We're not touching it till next time.
We're filming The Shining and Christine tomorrow.
Yeah. So be on the lookout for that. Be
on the lookout for that in
October.
The fuck's today? Oh, that's 5 weeks from now.
Yeah, in a month. In October.
5 weeks from now, this is coming out.
Yes.
So that's October.
Yes.
Oh wait, no, I'm wrong. That's 4 weeks.
Yeah, so it would be October 2nd. Yes.
October 2nd.
Yes. So be on the lookout October 2nd for this.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for this video.
This hatred-filled review of
this
Pet Sematary 2019.
Weird. This is the first B-Views I've ever walked away to grab something else.
Generation Wars.
Oh, I'm sorry. The first ever pre-filmed video that I've ever had to walk away from to grab something else.
Hey, we got a book.
Think about it.
We got a book.
Yeah, we have a book. Look.
Anyways,
buy a book, guys. Books are great.
Yes.
Books are amazing.
Yeah.
I love this book.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
Especially since it was in a cigarette house.
Oh, that's actually probably just because it's like 40 years old now.
Oh, that could be too.
Because
that looks like tar stains, but
I mean, it's, you know.
Anyways, what's another big plot point that?
It just smells like old book.
I know. I smell it.
Just out of control.
So we have.
It's only episode 3. We're still figuring out the format.
So in both of these, we have Lewis dig up. Well, no, in this one, these two, you have Lewis dig up Gage, and then put him in the Pet Sematary, and then this one, Lewis digs up Ellie, and does the same thing, which is basically the same thing, but it's different.
They dig up a kid and put him in.
And really, from this point on, besides...
the man's heart is stony.
Oh, I don't want to hear that anymore. So, from these two plot points with them putting Gage into the Pet Sematary, what now differs from this point on, from this to this?
After Kid is put in the Micmac Cemetery.
Yes.
Or the Wendigo Cemetery.
Whatever it is.
Or the Cannibal Cemetery.
Besides the ending of this movie, how is it really different?
At the end, I want to have a conversation about what the Pet Cemetery is.
Okay.
But we'll save that for the end.
Yes. So we're going to talk about what I just said.
What's different between all of this shit?
From basically these two entities, which are probably pretty much the same thing, in ways with the screenplay.
The endings are different, and I've already told you like my cinematic brain's like idea of what I would have the ending look like. And by the way, there's an alternate ending for this, and I don't know why they didn't use it so much better.
It does.
Like a million times
better.
But
it's not a good movie, but it still wouldn't improve the quality of the film.
Overall, no. Well, actually, overall, yes, it would have. No. It would have been like a shitty movie with a good ending. Yeah. At least
I just hated everything. But, so basically, we don't have to talk about, we know what happens. Judd dies. Rachel dies.
Oh wait, are you... Everything that happens afterwards?
I'm talking about basically, yes, everything that happens afterwards besides the ending of this film.
After what?
After Gage is put into the cemetery.
Okay, so... There's a little bit of a difference. Mary Lambert specifically said that she wanted, although in the book Gage is described as looking like a monster because he's basically had to be reconstructed with clay and shit. Or not clay, but like mortician's plaster or whatever they call it. His face has basically been reconstructed, but like not properly. So he looks like, they describe him as looking kind of like a monster almost.
Okay.
And being horrific to look at. When he digs him up, he like at first he thinks that Gage's head is gone because his head's been covered over with moss and mold. And so he actually wipes his face off and gets mold off of his face.
Okay.
And that's not a thing that happens in this. We don't get to see his face at all in that one until like after he like sees Gage's face and he cries and like holds him a bunch and it's like really touching. Dale Midkiff, I think is his name. Really bad actor as far as like delivering lines,
but lines are
very
boring.
Pretty good physical actor.
Yeah.
He's kind of like me. I could pull off some physical stuff, but like if you ask me to deliver lines, I'm not great.
Right. Okay.
Because my voice is a little too monotone to sound like I give a fuck. In this one, he just kind of like picks her up out of the thing, and there's not really a moment or anything. Everything feels rushed in this movie.
Of course it does.
Earlier today, I think I described this movie as feeling like if you'd filmed a bunch of scenes and then just like put them in and then said it was a movie.
With a big ass budget.
A lot of the way this movie is put together reminds me of Suicide Squad.
The original.
Not the Suicide Squad, Suicide Squad.
Okay.
Like the 2016 movie.
Yeah.
A lot of like just the way it's like edited and cut together like reminds me of that. Where it's just like this is just a bunch of bullshit that's being thrown at me and I don't know what's happening.
Right.
Except in this one, it's not really like action sequences. It's just nothing. It's just like here's a little bit of human drama stuff.
Yeah.
And like the director of the new Pet Cemetery actually made a point where he was just like, we didn't really know how to go about this book because like a good majority of it is like a good bit of it takes place before Church dies and it's just family drama stuff. And it's just like, yeah, but like that family drama stuff, like you can give us like 20-30 minutes of family drama bullshit if it means we get to know characters and like them. we need to know characters and care about them. You can't just give us these people, tell us we're supposed to care about them, and then just do a bunch of shit that doesn't mean anything.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, they're really, besides, I mean, like I said,
I was going with that, but
I don't. I could tell you were you're dying off there, but
I lost what I was doing.
That's okay. That's okay. So besides I mean, I don't think there's really that much difference between the movie and the original and the remake. Besides the ending.
I do.
What?
What?
What is it?
Lewis is still around, and Ellie is like walking around, and Lewis is aware that Ellie is walking around while Rachel is home.
Okay.
He gets to meet with Rachel again. By the time Rachel gets home, Gage has already killed Judd.
Okay.
Lewis is asleep, and then Gage kills Rachel before Lewis is even awake.
Okay. Yeah,
in
that's
this
true.
one, there's like a little bit of thing, and there's struggle. She throws a baby out a window, which I remember us all laughing a lot at in the theater. I remember us not being the only ones. There's a lot of stuff in this movie that is supposed to be like scary or tension building, and is just fucking dumb and funny.
Nonsense. It's all nonsense.
And she throws the baby out the window, and then she goes to jump out, and then she gets stabbed, and she goes, ah!
Oh. Stabbed right in the back.
Yep. And then there's a fight between Ellie and Lewis.
Now this is in the Pet Cemetery.
I'd say a lot of it is different at the end of this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is the ending. I mean, besides the ending.
I guess that is considered the ending, because like the alternate ending picks up from the point I just said. So, alright. Well, in the original ending, like the shitty ending, let's just go through the ending of this movie.
Yes.
Because I fucking hate it. It's the worst ending to a movie I've seen in a long time.
It's a joke it fits the movie because it's a joke. It's a disgrace on every level. I mean, you talk about an absolute famous book. I mean, that is just a slap in the face to Stephen King.
Well, you know what they say. When you buy something, you own it. And when you own something, it comes back to you.
Alright, please describe the ending so we can get done with this horrible movie. Please. I don't ever want to hear that quote again. And I swear to God, if I see a tattoo on your body anywhere, this YouTube is done, dude. It is gone. Mike Shake is no longer a part of Psycho Juice Box. He has moved on.
I'm totally getting that tattoo.
You are not getting that tattoo. Okay,
it's such a good one.
That is not a great quote.
I think it's good.
Anyways.
It's good for the book, at least.
Yes! Yeah, you don't want to get every book tattooed on your body, man.
Yeah. Everything can be
you can get a tiny writing, but anyways, let's go over the ending of this.
What I'll do is I'll get a tattoo of like just this cat from this book cover, and then like inside of the cat's mouth, really small, it's just gonna say that.
Anyways, let's talk about
like, what does that say? And it's like, you'll read it. Son of a bitch.
Fuck you. Alright, let's talk about the ending, and then we can throw this in the garbage.
I want to talk about the ending, and then I want to talk about the alternate ending, which is better.
Alright.
I'm sorry. But if we're going to do it, we might as well do it
right. Let's get it done.
Alright.
Now they're fighting in the pet cemetery.
Oh, yeah, and they start fighting in the pet cemetery. Oh, wait, she hits Lewis in the back of the head with a chair.
I mean, seriously, it's a fucking doll chair.
Something like that, yeah. It's like a shorter chair, like one of those.
I mean, it's like a chair like this, but come on.
It seems to be a solid wood chair, or at least relatively solid.
Come on.
Like modern day style.
Come on.
It's a chair made of wood that she hits him in the back of the head with while he's doing something with his wife, the corpse.
Whatever.
Oh yeah, his wife says, "I don't want to be buried out. Don't bury me out there." and he gets hit in the back of the head.
By Ellie.
By Ellie. After he locks Gage in the car.
Yes.
Because he locked Gage in a car.
Yes.
Safe place for the baby. Right. Yeah. You gotta keep the baby safe. That's a big difference between that one and this one. When Rachel comes back, she leaves Ellie with her parents in this one and in the book.
Right.
So Ellie gets left behind.
Uh-huh.
And Ellie, my fan theory, Ellie has the Shining, and that's how Pascal is talking to her this whole time. And might be one of the reasons why Lewis probably got it from Lewis. That's probably one of the reasons that Lewis is getting all of that stuff from Pascal at the beginning and all of that.
Sure.
It's just a fan theory, not necessarily proven or anything. But whatever. Because we do know that Pet Sematary takes place in the Dark Tower universe. So, that being said, alright. They're fighting in the cemetery.
Yes.
Gage is locked in the car.
Yes.
I just had to take my breath.
It's okay.
They're fighting. It's a really long fight.
A long fight.
It's long in both of the alternate endings, and I think it's dumb. And then in the ending, he says
the original ending.
The original ending.
Yes.
She grabs to hit him with a shovel while he's strangling her, and then he grabs the shovel and goes to cut her head off, and he says, I just thought we could be a family again. I just wanted us to be a family again. And then she says, we can be. And then he gets stabbed from behind by a giant cross, and then Rachel woke. It turns out Rachel was buried by Ellie. Because earlier we see Ellie dragging Rachel through the Pet Cemetery to the Godwood, or not the Godwood, the Little God Swamp.
Right.
So, then, it kind of closes out and opens up, and we see Gage in the car, and he looks behind him, and he sees that Judd's house is on fire for some reason.
I don't know why it's on. I have no idea why it's on fire. No idea.
There's a reason kind of a reason in this one. Yeah. More of a reason than in this movie.
Yeah.
I guess this one is just to burn it down because Judd's dead in there.
Sure.
I guess.
Sure.
Fuck it. Whatever. And you see the whole family walking back, and like Lewis.
And they're all corpses.
They're all corpsey.
Yeah.
And Lewis goes up to the window of the car and puts his hands on there, and then you just hear the whoop whoop, and then the movie ends. Dumb fucking ending. Your movie sucks. Alternate ending, a little bit better. Most of that same stuff happens, except Ellie's alive, or Rachel's alive the whole time. And when Lewis catches up to fight with Ellie, Rachel is there getting fought on the ground, and he's trying to save her, and she's like, there's only one way to save her, and you know there's only one way to save her, and he's like, no. And then they fight, and he goes to cut her head off with the shovel, and he says, I just wanted us to be a family again, and she says, you can't, we can be, we still can be. And then he lifts it up, he's gonna bring it down, and then she looks normal again, and it's just like, Daddy! And then he's like, no, I can't do it. And then it cuts to Rachel's kind of wakes up, and she's like, wait, what's happening? And he's just like, don't worry, honey, it'll all be better soon. And she's laying in a hole in the Micmac cemetery, and they're all standing around her, and then it cuts back, and you see Gage in there, and you just see you see Ellie and Lewis walking back only. And then Rachel comes out. Or no, it's No, you just see Ellie and Lewis walking back to the car, and you see him put his hands on the thing, and then it cuts to him holding Gage,
right.
And Gage is crying, and he's just sitting there, and this is the one that I was like, oh, that's kind of similar to, like, my idea for the ending,
right.
or what the ending of the movie should be.
Right.
And it's, what are you doing, Donna?
I don't know. Playing with it. Anyways.
But, it just shows him, like, holding Gage, and Gage is crying, and then you just, like, see her walk in, and she puts her hand on his shoulder, and she says, darling, and then, Ellie walks up, and she goes, mommy, and then it, like, zooms out, and it's just, like, family portrait of them, and I was like, oh, that's a good ending, like, that's good, if only this movie had been good, it could have had a good ending.
And why the directors went with the original, who knows?
Who knows? Maybe because it tested better with audiences. I've heard a lot of people on Facebook really liked the ending. I thought it was the dumbest thing I've ever fucking seen, because it's like, hey, what's scary? I know, Pet Sematary 2 is a really scary and superior movie, so let's make the ending kind of like that. Now we should probably talk about what the ending to this movie is, and then what the ending to the book is, right?
Okay.
So in the end of this movie, most of what happens, Judd gets killed. Donna, don't chew on plasticky stuff.
Alright, John, let's go.
I am covered in cat hair now.
Oh, lovely.
You're a good cat, but you are shedding like crazy. Here. Alright, so...
Yeah.
In this movie, Gage kills Judd by... They do that,
Lewis's scalpel.
Yeah. They steal Lewis's scalpel in both of them.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. Everything.
Yeah. Sure.
Lewis's scalpel gets stolen in all of these. Then... Rachel shows up because, Judd is not answering his door.
Mm-hmm.
And she says that she's going to stop by his place when she gets... Oh, come on!
Alright.
She stops by, Gage kills her, Lewis gets a phone call, because he's like, oh, Gage came back, because he sees the little footprints. He gets a phone call, and it's like, Daddy, you should come over to Judd's place. I played with Judd, and then I played with Mommy, so we should play too. And he's like, what did you do?
What did you do? Alright, Donna, come on. Okay.
And, then he goes there, kills Gage with, he kills Church in, like, the sad way, because we see Church die in a really sad way, because they got some pretty good cat actors in that movie. And no animals were harmed.
Yep.
But cat acting that made me sad, because that cat is just, like, laying there and just staring at him with such sad eyes while it's, like, breathing. And you're like, oh my god. And then he kills that one with morphine. And he kills Gage with morphine. And then he finds his dead wife, and he's broken. And that's kind of what happens in this one, too.
Okay.
They're pretty similar. Alright, that's recording.
Alright, sweet. Yeah.
Take two?
Take two.
Take two.
Dos-y-dos. Alright, well, we're back with Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our camera died.
Yeah.
And, it was 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
so,
we really didn't have time.
So we were just like, I'm not waiting for that shit to charge. Plug it in. Let's leave it for the night.
Yep. Yeah. So here we are. We're back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it just occurred to me, I think I have an extra battery in there. I don't know if it's charged, though.
That's okay. We hopefully won't run out today.
Never say never.
Yep. Anyways, I'm Mike.
I'm John. We're going to continue where we left off. This is just going to be cut to the back of the other one. Cause, well, unless it's like we go on really long for no reason.
I highly doubt it.
You never know. We're dumb.
Yeah. We'll get on some rant, and then I'll have to lead you back to what we were talking about.
Like this one.
Yeah. It's alright.
Anyway, I think we were talking about the ending of the original Pet Sematary.
Yep.
Where Lewis kills Gage.
Yep.
Or he kills Church, and then he kills Gage with morphine.
Yep. Didn't he kick him too, which was kind of cool?
Kick who?
Gage.
No, he threw him across the room.
Oh yeah, he threw him. That was cool. And then his head kind of hit backwards. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah. And I think it was a puppet.
Yeah, it was like a rag doll.
Yeah. It was fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Throwing a kid. I mean, that sounds fun, so.
Who hasn't wanted to whip a kid across a room?
Right.
That's not real, just
a
joke.
Well, of course.
Yeah. Mike, I think you're partially out of frame.
Okay. I'm right here.
The top of your head's cut off, I think.
It's alright. They got my Badger hat on, even though they lost today.
Am I wrong?
No. No, I mean, they got my head. Yeah, that's fine. Alright. There's my hat.
It's bad at blocking.
Huh? Alright.
Fuck it. This is the worst produced show on the internet.
Yeah, get used to it. So what? Yeah. Yeah.
This will be fun for the uncut version.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a laugh. It's like, haha, look at that guy. Where's the Badger shit who lost today? Yeah.
That's okay, LSU lost too.
They did.
God damn.
To a California team that lost.
Oh,
I know.
Was it USC?
No. UCLA.
That's better.
No, they've been terrible for the last like 5 years.
Hate USC. Because they went to the national championships when we should have.
Yeah.
Fucking BCS.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's dumb, and that's literally like 20 years ago now.
It was. It was probably more than 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was when USC won the national championship.
Yeah, that's a while ago.
I think the last time they did.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I think that was 2003.
Yeah.
So maybe it wasn't 20 years ago
yet. Almost.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they lost to Texas in the national championship.
No, I thought they beat Texas.
Oh, they lost to Vince Young. Yeah. Anyways.
No.
Anyways, back to the original ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in that one, he kills him. He finds the body of his dead wife.
Yeah, Rachel.
Who Gage killed.
Yep.
Because Gage kills Judd by. Oh man, we can't not talk about that scene.
What's that?
When the really cool scene where Gage cuts Judd's Achilles tendon so much so that they tease it in this movie and then they do it at a different point in the movie.
Right. Of course they do.
Yeah.
They do everything shitty in this one.
I mean, that was one part that I thought wasn't terrible. And they used a practical effect for it. And I give them props for that.
Yeah.
Practical effects are better than all CGI.
Sure. I agree.
Well, 90% of the time.
Yeah.
I'll give concessions for Jurassic Park. And a few other movies I give concessions to if even if they have some bad CGI, if it's a good script or it's entertaining to watch.
Right.
Right. Fuck it.
Sure.
If everything else is great and your CGI sucks.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right.
That Mummy movie. With Brendan Fraser.
Oh,
the CGI is trash in that movie.
Right.
It was really cool when we saw it, when it came out.
Okay.
If you go back and rewatch it, it's not great.
I haven't rewatched it.
Although I would argue that it's about the same quality as most of the Marvel movies, so fuck it.
Yeah. All right.
But that's a really fun movie.
Okay.
I thought I wouldn't like it as much now that I'm older. I love that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Fun ass ride.
Okay.
So if you go back and watch The Mummy with the original one.
Right.
I rewatched the second one, which I loved as a kid, and I was like, this one I'm not liking as much.
Now, is that the Scorpion King or is that the third one?
It's the one with the Scorpion King.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it's The Rock's first screen role.
Okay.
Well, screen role.
Right.
And then the second one, the Scorpion King is like his first, I think, starring role in a movie.
All right.
I think. Don't quote me too much on that.
All right.
I'm not a film historian,
Yeah.
and I'm definitely not a The Rock historian.
No, neither am I.
I've seen like a couple of his movies, and he seems like a cool guy.
Sure. Yeah, he seems like cool shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good in Jumanji.
I didn't see it, but I wanted to.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Is it a sequel?
It's somewhat of a remake.
Okay.
No. I take that back. It would be a sequel.
Oh.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah. Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
I heard it was a very fun movie, and that like I think Jack Black's in it, right?
Yeah.
And I heard he was really good in it, and everyone was just great in it.
Right.
And
right, Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin Hart's just funny.
Yeah.
We were watching Scary Movie 3 the other day, and he's great in that.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Anyway,
yeah.
We're talking about Pet Sematary.
It's all right.
Scary Movie 3, or The Mummy, or
yeah, I mean, we're talking about CGI.
Or Scorpion King, or any of that stuff. Anyway, the point is, cool practical effects.
Sure.
I don't think there's any bullshit CGI in this movie. There's a really weird CGI scene in this movie, though. I think it's when he's carrying Gage there.
Yes.
Right? Yep. I don't know if it was CGI or stop motion, but it's when Judd's face like pops out.
Right.
And I kind of like that. Okay. We'll go back over this stuff. I didn't bring the book over here this time, but the book's over there.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, we're a mess tonight. We just spent the longest time we've ever spent preparing for an episode for the next episode we're filming.
Yeah.
And we've done entire seasons of shows.
Yeah. Yeah. Spent a lot of time in The Shining today.
Yeah, I think it was 7 hours.
It was close to 7 hours.
Prep.
Yeah.
And
too long.
Honestly, it was so much information all at once.
Yeah.
Don't 100% have a grab on it, but
right.
That is
figure it out. Alright, back to Pet Sematary.
Yeah. Pet Sematary. It's really fun.
Sure.
It's not.
I think you were going to talk about something in the book.
Oh yeah, I wanted to compare the endings. Oh, we didn't actually get to the ending.
No,
he buries his wife in the pet cemetery without any real fight or anything after he kills Gage in Judd's house.
Right.
Buries his wife in there, and then he sits down and he plays solitaire just like in the book.
Right.
And then his wife comes through the door and she's bleeding out of her eye, or leaking out of her eyes.
That's gross.
Oh, it was so fucking gross.
And
disgusting. Then they make out while she's and his face touches her eye juice.
It's appalling.
Oh,
it's awful.
It's really horrific.
It is.
And then she grabs the knife off the table, and then it cuts. She holds it out like that, and it cuts to black, and then you hear Louis screaming, and then that's the end.
And that's the end.
And I really like that ending. The alternate ending in this one's really good.
Yeah, we already talked about
I actually really like the alternate. I know, but I feel like we should talk about how good the alternate ending is in that one again.
Yeah. Okay.
Not actually in depth, just saying it again. The alternate ending's really good in that.
Yeah, I think it
sucks dicks.
Yeah. The alternate's so much better.
I know.
I don't know why they didn't go.
It's such a cool image at the end.
Right.
It leaves you with a image that stays with you instead of just
haunting.
People outside of a car and not giving a fuck.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's the movie itself. It fucks up on every avenue.
What frustrates me about it is that on paper that movie should be really good.
Oh yeah.
Where they're just we're gonna include the Wendigo, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
I looked for it so many times. And then Sab finally showed me the picture of what it meant when they said they show the Wendigo, and showed me the picture of it, and I was like, so it's just a gray blob in the background of something?
Yeah.
Fuck you! You don't get to say that. Oh, we showed the Wendigo.
Of course. Yeah. Are you surprised?
Mm.
How much they cut corners? Fuck no.
This movie felt like it was lower budget than this
Well, of course
movie.
it did.
And I think this one was higher budget.
I would imagine it was.
Because I imagine Paramount would have been throwing money at this movie.
Sure.
Because of how well it did.
Well, of course.
And I know for a fact that this movie made money.
Yeah, yeah.
Because everyone, like, we went to the theater,
yeah,
and it was packed.
It was packed. It was sold out.
Yeah, it was sold out.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the first weekend. It was sold out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Although that could just be, you know, Oshkosh likes Pet Cemetery, maybe.
Yes, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. It sucks, though. That's all I know.
Oh, it's a giant pile of shit.
Now, do we want to talk about the ending in the book now?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the ending in the book is pretty similar to this ending,
okay.
Except the book ends with him playing solitaire, and then he hears like the door open and close, and then a hand goes on his shoulder, and then he just hears "darling," and then it ends.
Okay.
And I love that as an ending too.
Sure.
Because like that ending is so. It feels like such a cinematic ending.
Yes.
I was listening to the audiobook the other day, and it literally, like, it lends itself so well to becoming a film.
Right.
That it just automatically like goes in your brain that
sure.
way.
Sure.
You know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's one of the things I really liked in that alternate ending.
Right.
Is that moment is in that ending.
Yeah. Yep. But of course they don't go with that.
And of course they pick the wrong ending. They talk about how difficult it would be to add pretty much. That was my favorite part. Was we while we were setting up, we put up. I don't remember what the bonus feature was called. It's not on the back. I want to say it was like Beyond the Deadfall.
Yeah.
And in one of the chapters, the directors were listing off things that they were just like, there are so many things in this book that like we would have expected not to work and wouldn't have put in the movie if we hadn't seen it in the original and known that it could be done. Things like Victor Pascal.
Right.
And church. Like,
right.
I was just like, are you just including like every aspect of the movie? Every aspect of the book, you're just like, it would have been too hard to do, so we didn't want to, unless like someone else did. Because I don't think you should be making movies if that's the case.
but my point is that obviously the movie, the original was very popular. It's a very popular book. How can a film studio see the script and say, let's put some serious money behind this, and say, let's produce this and let's release this out into the public? And us dumbasses, we want to go see it. But I mean, if you look at that,
the trailer looked good.
It did, but I mean that just shows you.
I thought the like cemetery, or the funeral procession thing was like a little weird.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder what that deal with that is. But whatever, fuck it.
Yeah, because it could be different, but
and it was literally just like
it's just a fucking cash grab, man.
I was literally just like, oh, like they're gonna make Ellie die instead. That might be interesting.
Sure.
And they don't do anything interesting with it.
No.
I saw a lot of things that said like this is closer to the book than the original, and that's bullshit. If that's like them being like, oh, they have the Wendigo. It's no, they don't. It's bullshit.
Right.
They said they got like a camera error on one of their thing, and they were like, oh, let's just tell people it's the Wendigo.
Right.
They caught like a fucking moose in the background of the scene.
Yeah, I mean, come the fuck on. Come on.
So I know one of the things we kind of wanted to talk about. Well, I don't. we could go through some other things in this as we go, but one of the things we wanted to talk about is, like, what is the Wendigo, and what is the cemetery. Just because this is... It's kind of a point of contention a little bit. A lot of people say that it's like, oh, it's the Wendigo. That's not what Wendigos are in folklore, though. But at the same time, in the book, it's kind of like, yeah, a crazy old man who said that who supposedly got a fortune from, like, a crazy jobless old man who supposedly got a fortune from his, I think, great-grandfather, who, by apparently trading with the Micmacs, apparently that guy said that it was a Wendigo to Judd, and then told him that it was because the Micmacs were, they went through a time where everyone was starving, and they ate a bunch of people, and all the people that they ate, they buried in, like, what is the Micmac burial ground. Or Little God Swamp, or whatever it is. And that attracted a Wendigo, and then it made the ground sour, so the Micmac left. But can we for sure say that it's a Wendigo if it's so, like, passed down through weird white people? Through generations of them, and then a crazy old man who has, like, a bad reputation in the town tells you a story, and you're just like, yeah, this is the way it is. Or the way it seems to me is it's almost like an it-type entity, not that same species. Because, like, they have Pennywise or Bob Gray or whatever you call it, and then they have the other one from the Dark Tower series, and I don't remember his name. But, and then they, but the Wendigo might be another spirit that's like that. And, you and Zab said that he's in, a Wendigo is in, the girl who loved Tom Jordan?
Gordon.
Wow. And I have not read that. So
it's a great one.
I know, I keep meaning to, and, you know. Hey, want to do Dark Tower. Also, I heard that that's one of the ones that it's better if you read Dark Tower first. But I don't know if that's true.
No, read Dark Tower.
But what I do know is Pet Sematary ties into... I just want to make sure she's not going to jump up so I can grab onto my coffee if she does. Oh, there she goes.
Alright. Anyways.
Ladies and gentlemen, guest star Donna.
Yes.
Oh, I have cat hair in my coffee now.
Alright.
If you're gonna be up here, you should lay down. And preferably don't push shit over. Anyways. But yeah, I was thinking of the Wendigo as more of that type of entity. And it seemed to make a lot more sense, because in the book they imply that, like, it has control over people in the town, or at least on that road. Because, like, one of the things in the book is the driver that hits Gage, he says that all of a sudden something made him, like, he had... Great, I was worried about her knocking over my coffee, and I'm the fucking one who does it. You can't have coffee or cat. You'll die. It's like Coke for cats.
Sure. Alright, John. About the Wendigo.
Yeah. The fuck was I saying?
You were talking about the Wendigo lore.
Okay. Oh, right. But the driver who hits Gage in the book, he says that, like, they say that he hasn't had any violations on his record or anything ever in his career, and then someone says that the quote from him was like, all of a sudden it felt like I just had to go fast, like it was overwhelming compulsion to go fast.
Okay.
And the idea is that the Wendigo made him do that so he would hit Gage.
Right.
So the question is, because they also established that the people who bury pets in the Micmac burial ground,
right,
they end up going on to share that information with younger people who will
right,
then share that information. So it's like this
right,
continuing
like
cycle
right,
of people burying things there.
Yep.
That way it continues to happen.
right,
So a lot of that stuff is kind of cyclical, and it reminds me a lot of like It,
right,
where a lot of the
right,
symbolism in It has to do with like circles or
right,
cycles or spirals and things like
sure,
that. And they specifically mention that the Micmac burial ground is in the shape of a spiral, and the pet cemetery is concentric circles.
Okay.
So it's like a circle and then a circle and
right,
then a circle, and
right,
they get older the closer, farther into the circle you go.
okay,
And they say there's not really a reason for that. It's just that it's just like people are pushed to do it that way.
okay. Alright.
So
that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So it doesn't seem as much like some kind of Wendigo, which is just supposed to be like a person becomes a Wendigo when they eat people,
okay,
and then they in turn like kind of get other people to eat people.
Okay.
At least that's my understanding. I'm also not a folklore expert,
Right.
so.
Right.
And I'm also not a part of any culture that has Wendigo lore. So
right,
if you are,
yeah,
and please don't be offended by what I'm saying, because I don't know. I'm
right,
just going based on what I know from movies and a little bit of folklore knowledge.
right.
Just a little bit though,
right,
not like a, you know.
uh-huh.
I don't research I don't research shit. It's fine.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of what I got from it the last time I read the book.
Sure.
Because I listened to all back to back. I listened to The Shining, Doctor Sleep, It, Pet Sematary, and then Christine.
Right.
And Christine is the only one that seemed to not have anything that I could find that connected it to the Dark Tower, so
okay,
I'm wondering if it does. But From a Buick 8 is apparently a book that you cannot read unless you've read the Dark Tower.
Alright. See, I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Alright.
And it's like the first Stephen King book my mom ever got for me.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And I never ended up reading it.
Right.
Because I was like, oh, I don't know, it feels like I probably should have read Christine first. Plus, I wanted to read a lot of the other ones first.
Yeah.
You know, the ones you hear about.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, I was thinking about that.
Okay.
This time that I listened to it.
Yeah.
Because, like, I read the book, and I think this is the third time I've listened to the audiobook.
Okay.
It's good. It's got Michael C. Hall narrating it.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
It's cool as shit as Dexter.
I liked the Dexter books, too.
Yeah.
Those were pretty neat. I liked the vampire one a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was neat.
Yeah, I never read it.
Yeah.
Good show.
It's the show gets. I liked the show a lot, and then I rewatched the show after I read the books, and I was like, this sucks. So
Right.
You know.
Sure.
It's weird how that kind of happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Because you know, you read a book and you're like, I really want to see something good for this.
Sure.
And,
Yeah. Sometimes it just doesn't happen.
Yeah. Like this.
Yeah. Like that piece of crap.
Is there anything else we want to bring up about this?
I mean, we touched on the Wendigo lore.
Yeah.
The Pet Cemetery lore.
A little bit, yeah.
Now I think we just gotta vote.
So, as the Pet Cemetery compels people to do things, I'm voting for this one. This one's a piece of shit.
I'm voting for the book.
Yeah, this movie...
No, I'm voting for the book.
No, we don't vote on books.
Well, of course I'm not voting on this.
Knock that over. Jesus. That was loud. I wasn't expecting you to throw it on the floor.
That's what it deserves.
That was $5.
It's not broken.
God couldn't kill that thing enough.
No. Have to pawn it. Yeah. You don't dare keep that.
It's not worth the gas money to go and pawn it. So
resell it on eBay.
This wins.
Yes.
The original Pet Sematary.
Yes.
It's better. Honestly, I gave that one a 2 out of 10 on IMDb when I rated it.
Yep.
And the only reason it got a 2 was because the cat was very cute.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole movie.
Yeah. I would give it a 1.
At no point was the cat as creepy as it was in this one. That's what's weird about this one is it's kind of cheesy, and it intentionally has comic relief and shit. But it's a creepy ass movie, and that movie isn't scary or creepy. There are a few jump scares that are just trash.
Shit.
But
it's crap.
It feels like
rubbish.
Nobody gives a fuck.
No.
And now we've gotten to the let's shit on the new Pet Sematary part. So what are all the things you hate about the new Pet Sematary?
What are some of the things?
All of the things.
All of the things.
Everything but the cat. The cat is cute.
But I'll tell you always one thing that always pisses me off in a movie is when you watch a trailer and you get excited about a trailer, and when you go to the movie, it's an absolute utter rubbish pile of shit.
Because they took a lot of good shit.
Absolutely.
In the trailer.
Absolutely. And you think it's going to be more of the lore. You think it's going to dive deeper into the Pet Sematary lore.
Okay.
Especially when you've seen the trailer and you've seen the kids with the funeral possession.
Yeah, I thought they were going to give us some lore.
Right.
Maybe not from the book, but new lore.
Right.
Maybe something that they came up with, maybe some cool shit.
Right.
And they didn't. They didn't do anything. They were just lazy as fuck.
Remember, that's almost 30 years after this movie.
Yeah.
That's
30 years to write a good movie.
Yes, that is actually 30 years almost to the day.
And maybe
that's
a part
89.
of that. Maybe a part of that has to do with this screenplay was actually written by Stephen King.
Right.
So someone who actually cared about the subject material wrote the book, wrote the screenplay, and everyone in those special features we listened to for a bit, every single one of them was like, yeah, we love the movie and the book, and the guy who played Lewis in it, he's read the book so many times he could quote entire pages of the book to us, and I was like, well then why didn't anyone actually do anything that had to do with the book?
Exactly.
That movie, pick that movie up again.
Do I really have to pick that up?
Yeah, because...
why?
Well, there's water all over the floor from ice chips from earlier, so that's probably one reason, but...
here you go.
But I want to... In this movie, fuck. What was I saying? This movie, nobody gave a shit, and, if the guy who played Lewis, what's his name?
James King, I do believe? James something?
Don't even have any actors' names on the back of there. Jason Clarke?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Is that him?
Yep.
If Jason Clarke knew so much about Pet Sematary, why did he let this shit slide?
Because he wanted a paycheck!
Here's the reality, is that this movie is the only other movie that I can compare to the original Suicide Squad movie, because it comes across as if you, put a movie into a wood chipper and just, threw scenes together, and then none of it makes sense, because they don't explain anything in this movie. One of the things I said after we got out of the theater watching this movie is if I hadn't read the book and seen the original movie, I would have had no idea what the fuck was happening in this movie. And that's an issue.
Right.
That's a huge issue. There's one part of this movie where all of the background information and text on what the fuck anything is all told to us through extremely zoomed in article titles and maps on computer screens.
Right.
Stuff zoomed in so much that you only see 1 or 2 words.
Afterwards!
Yeah.
Not before, but afterwards.
Also, John Lithgow could have been great in this movie.
Sure.
I was so excited when they announced that he would be
very
Judd
good actor.
because he's an amazing actor.
Right.
He could have done this, and then they put him in the movie, and he's barely in the movie,
right.
and there's no reason why he should be interacting with these people,
right.
because it seems like the only person who actually likes him is the fucking daughter.
Yeah, is the daughter, Ellie, and then she dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, well, I just want to help Ellie because she's the only person who's touched my heart in a while.
That's creepy.
It's
but
like,
anyways,
what the fuck? This is supposed to be like the kindly old man next door, not the creepy old man who's like creepy towards everyone across the street.
Right.
Seems to have a hostile attitude towards him, except the kid.
Right. It just sucks.
Yeah.
Everything about it sucks.
You know, it's my fault for having my expectations higher.
I mean, I didn't have high expectations going into it, but
I didn't have
once
like
again,
super high expectations, but I had expectations.
Well, once again, you look at the trailer and you say, ooh, 30 years later, how can they improve it? And they did not.
Mm-hmm.
And they did not.
It was almost as if they were like, hey, how could we make the worst adaptation of this movie possible? Since, like...
You know what it also reminds me of is a movie that we did on B-Views of a director who really loved the series but really took a shit on the actual movie, is The Grudge. It reminds me of that, you know? We were listening to that horrible, useless documentary for 10 minutes, and we got the gist of it basically saying, ooh, these guys are a fan of the original. Mm-hmm. They're a fan of the book. They're a fan of the lore.
Which, by the way,
once again, here we go again with a person who loves it, who takes a shit on it.
Well, I heard that was a thing about, like, like in the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Right.
Where, apparently, when they were on set, someone, I don't remember where I heard this, but it was from, there was some kind of, someone who was in, like, the cast was talking, and they were saying, that, or like an extra or something, and they were saying that they had been there and they heard, like, they'd seen the guy who was playing Freddy.
Yeah, Jackie Earle Haley.
Yeah, and he's saying, oh yeah, I saw the original one just for the first time last night. It's the worst movie I've ever seen. And then he went out and, on camera, whenever he was doing, like, all of the promo and shit, and he was like, oh yeah, it's such an important movie to me, it had such an influence on me, like, my whole life, and all this shit. And, like, that's what I think this might have been.
Right.
Is they were just like, I don't fucking care. Well, this is the
They
worst shit I've ever seen.
Care, and you can see it in the film.
Let's just make a dumb haunted house movie that's full of stupid jump scares that doesn't mean anything. And although they kept saying, oh, this is a movie about grief, this isn't a movie about anything. This is a movie about we randomly cut scenes together to try and
make... It's a cash grab. That's all it is.
It's like we made a fake movie and packaged it to people.
And they're writing off Stephen King. Here we go, another King movie that sucks.
And here's the problem. Stephen King came out and he was just like, yeah, this movie's great. Fuck it.
It's a cash grab, man.
Stephen King is pretty open.
Not Stephen King, but in terms of writing...
yeah.
I mean, you're just writing off the success of it.
Yep.
And you say, well, let's try this remake.
And here's the sad thing, is I think this might have fucking killed the new Stephen King movie thing. Golden Age?
Yeah.
Popularity? Because, like, this movie is garbage.
Yes. It ruins.
Where everyone was just like, oh man, we could get a Stephen King MCU with, like, Dark Tower and all sorts of stuff. And Dark Tower came out and it was bad, but, like...
Beyond that.
Then
worse than this.
It kept coming out, and the first one was really good. The second one was really good, but in a different way, and a lot of people didn't like that.
I liked it.
I loved it.
I liked it.
Bill Hader is brilliant.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
They're grown up. They're not kids. So what?
Yeah.
Get on with it.
That's what I like about
it.
I kind of hate watching the kids.
Right. I mean, I thought the first one was great. Second one was great.
That was good. The actors were good.
Sure.
It's just I'm too old to identify with those kids anymore.
Of course.
You know, it's like, oh, those are kids and they do things in kid ways, and it's not. That's why I like the book a lot, is because it kind of cuts back and forth. Right. You know.
And we'll talk about that.
Yeah, it is our grand finale for this month. Well, next month. But like, the month when you're seeing this, this is episode 1 of our month of Stephen King.
It is. Yeah. 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 But do not watch this. Please don't.
If you want to hate yourself and everything around you, maybe you should watch this.
Do not even spend a dime to watch that movie.
This might be on Prime.
I hope nobody watches it. It's trash.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's fucking garbage.
Yep.
Throw it away.
Please. Yeah. It's worth more in the garbage than...
And I'm not going to throw this away.
I think you probably should, but that's just me.
Like 3 years or so, I'll probably be like, yeah, I'll give it another chance. Here's the problem.
God. You can do that on your own, my friend.
I don't remember if we said this, but like this might be the only movie that we've ever gone and seen in a movie theater where like 15 minutes into the movie you leaned over and you were just like, I hate this movie.
You can tell.
And like I really didn't like I was like, oh, I wonder if I ever rated Pet Sematary on IMDb when we watched it when I was watching the original a while back, and then I looked it up and I was like, oh, I gave it a 2. Right. I bet it'll be better this time, and I hated it just as much this time. So like, here's the thing: is I went to the theater, saw this movie, hated this movie, bought this movie,
just for this.
Bought this movie just for this, and was like, yeah, I'll give it another shot. And I literally like looked at my IMDb, and I finished watching this a second time, looked at the IMDb, and I said, that's right.
Yeah.
2 out of 10. The cat is cute.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep. That's all. That's the only, I guess, pleasing spot in this movie for you. I give it a 1.
That cat is adorable.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was 4 cats, right?
Yeah.
They said I think one of them was named like.
I think one of them was like DJ or wasn't it? Yeah.
It was like DJ. I don't know. A couple of other cats.
Yeah.
And they were adorable.
Yeah.
They were very fun to watch. I really liked the cats in this one too.
Sure.
All the cats in these movies get 10 out of 10 for being awesome and adorable.
Sure. Even
the ones that they were just like flashing lights into their eyes the whole time.
Right.
Because that's how they got their eyes to glow in this movie. Was they were like, well, what would be a cool effect to do? And they were just like, well, we'll just shine flashlights in the cat's eyes, and then it'll make it reflective on camera.
Sure.
Anyway, this has gone on way too long.
Yeah. So the 89 version was.
Woo! Yeah. Woo! Watch this. It's good.
Yeah, give it a watch. Don't set your expectations too high.
I mean, it's a fun, kind of campy, but ultimately creepy movie. And this is
not
none of those things. Really. It's not fun. You kind of.
I don't even know why you keep in touching it, because that thing is just. I don't want to touch it ever again. Poor Donna now has to deal with church. Anyways,
I'm John.
Yeah,
Check out our Twitter and Facebooks and
all our shit down here.
It's all in the description.
Yeah.
Twitch, we Twitch things sometimes.
Yeah. Play games.
Yeah.
B-Views Live.
B-Views Live. It's been fun.
Yep.
We should do a few more. Just to like, we end up uploading B-Views Live up here so we can keep our content regular.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm Johnny Juice Box.
I'm Mike Shake.
And this has been the worst produced show on the internet.
Yeah. Welcome to Generation Wars.
Oh wait, this isn't. Well, this is about the same, really. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Get vaccinated.
Oh yeah, get vaccinated, you filthy fucking animals.